Hey, welcome to another one of our weekend shows where we set aside the grubby churn of passing politics to focus on all the good things in life. Today's show is a pre-Valentine's edition in which we will attempt to demonstrate that the fundamental things do still apply as time goes by. We will hear a couple of the greatest love songs ever written, performed by one of our best singer-pianists and my fellow Canadian, Carol Welsman. And if, like many viewers, you like the look of that bootleg Bûche de Noël we made for our Christmas show, Denis Mourage is back with a little something that's going to make your romantic dinner à deux for Valentine's night take off big time, guaranteed. You know, I think I belong to the last generation of school children that had to learn poetry. My kids do no poetry at school except rhymeless, meterless drivel by various social justice whiners, the stuff that lies stillborn on the tongue. And I think having a poem to hand is part of what it means to be a civilized human being. And on a romantic dinner, by the way, the chicks really dig it. They're like putty in your hands. Christina Rossetti, an English poet, but the daughter of an Italian poet, Gabriele Rossetti, and the sister of another great artist, Dante Gabriele Rossetti. Christina's best known for her Christmas carol, In the Bleak Midwinter. And if you like In the Bleak Midwinter, you can hear me singing it in an extremely low key, in the bleak, that low, at the beginning of my disco version of A Marshmallow World. But let us cast aside such tawdry baubles as Christmas disco records and consider from 1881 this marvelous poem of Christina Rossetti's about love as a great dissolution of mine and thine and a great merging into one unbounded us. I loved you first, but afterwards your love, outsoaring mine, sang such a loftier song as drowned the friendly cooings of my dove. Which owes the other most? My love was long, and yours one moment seemed to wax more strong. I loved and guessed at you, you construed me, and loved me for what might or might not be. Nay, weights and measures do us both a wrong, for verily love knows not mine or thine. With separate I and thou, free love has done, for one is both, and both are one in love. Rich love knows naught of thine that is not mine. Both have the strength and both the length thereof. Both of us, of the love which makes us one. Christina Rossetti. And by way of contrast, here's another favorite poem of mine, an earlier poem from the 17th century by Sir George Etheredge, one of the big playwrights of Restoration comedy, and later in life a diplomat. He was a British ambassador in Vienna, among other places. And this poem is the opposite of Christina Rossetti's. It's about the pleasures of love, even though it be impermanent and transient and non-everlasting. And it has a great title, To a Lady Asking Him How Long He Would Love Her. It is not, Celia, in our power to say how long our love will last. It may be we within this hour may lose those joys we now do taste. The blessed that immortal be, from change in love are only free. Then, since we mortal lovers are, ask not how long our love will last, but while it does, let us take care each minute be with pleasure past. Were it not madness to deny, to live because we're sure to die. That's great stuff. Sir George Etheredge, and a poem about fleeting impermanence that has lasted for 4 centuries. We will have some more great words on love, but set to music. and with Carol Welsman's nimble fingers on the piano in just a moment. But first, if you're planning a great romantic night for Valentine's Day, what do you need? The lights down low, a corner table, beautiful music, the language of love, and then you look down and there's a couple of greasy cheeseburgers on your plate. That ain't gonna work. So for all those who enjoyed our trip to the Owl's Bread Boulangerie in Quebec, for our bootleg bûche de Noël on our Christmas show, we decided it was time for a romantic return visit. Hey, we're back at the Owl's Bread Boulangerie in Mansonville, Quebec. If you recall, we asked Denis Mourage to make us a bûche de Noël and to bring it to our studio south of the border, and it was seized by the crazed madman of Homeland Security on our Christmas show, who would not permit that bûche de Noël to infect the sovereign territory of the United States. So we had to come north of the border and cook it with Denis, and I'm still furious about that. We haven't given up on that. I did ask President Trump to issue an executive order pardoning bûche de Noël and permitting them to come to the United States, but there was some kind of clerical error, and he announced the other day that he's banning all visitors from Somalia, Yemen, Iran, and bûche de Noëlistan. So if you're a bûche de Noëlistani and you're detained at the airport, don't blame me. It wasn't meant to work out like that. But the bûche de Noël tasted so fabulous that we thought we'd ask Denis back to make something for us for Valentine's Day, a romantic dish for Valentine's Day, Denis. And what do you got in mind?
But I make a dish that is on my menu in the restaurant, and that is a chowder, a seafood chowder that I've named for that occasion Bora Bora style.
Okay.
Bora Bora is a French Polynesian island, quite well known,
right.
And for me, it evokes, very romantic destination.
Yep.
I think honeymoon in Bora Bora is something that many people would like to have. So.
Because you first made this for Agnes
for
in
my
the Bahamas.
Wife, in the Bahamas.
Right.
We've loved it, and I say, well, I will put that on my menu. It's on my menu. I'm selling quite a lot of them, and I think for Valentine's Day, it's a perfect kind of dish. It's light, very digestible.
No.
It's a bit hot, which is good for Valentine's Day.
Yeah. Light and hot.
Yes, lightly hot. It's not too spicy.
Lightly hot. That's what I'm looking for in a dinner companion,
exactly.
But also in the food as well.
Yeah.
Well, you've got a rainbow of colors here among the ingredients. What goes into this chowder?
Okay, so we have some scallops. They are coming from Canada. They are Canadian. U10, which means under 10. That means there is less than 10 scallops for a pound.
Okay.
That means huge scallops. And it's, in the plate, it's wow, it's looking great. So if you are, as we say here, mal pris, if you are, last minute order, somebody is arriving that was not counted, you can thaw them in the microwave.
Right.
Thaw them, not to cook them.
No.
So, and the same thing for the shrimps.
Okay.
So that's what I will do. Then as a veggie, we have leeks, we have carrots, we have sweet pepper, we have snow peas, we have celeriac, in fact, celery root. That's basically it. As herbs, we have the coriander, we have some shallot, or it could be a red onion, something. And lime, very important, that gives we will use the zest, in fact, of the lime, and that gives a fantastic taste, touch. And that little touch of hot pepper that you can dry very well. This one is dried, and you just leave it in the kitchen, and it's drying naturally.
So you've got...
And coconut.
Oh, coconut.
Milk.
Okay, coconut milk.
I think that,
and
spices.
You've got a little bit of every color here. You've got red and green, and you've got some yellow mango. And
it's all those colors, I find it very important to have nice colors in plates, fresh herbs.
Yep.
That opens your appetite and that makes you to digest better.
Right.
If it's beautiful, it seems you digest better.
No, that's true.
Then we have some spice. So the main spice is a curry. So you know that curry is in fact a mix of different spices.
Right.
There are two main curries in the world, the Thai curry that I will use and the Indian curry that I'm not using.
Well, the ingredients look great. So how do you put them all together then?
Okay, I start by to prepare that, whatever is the recipe you want to use. The rice linguine that I prefer, you soak them in, let's say, very hot water.
Okay.
For about 15 minutes. When it's tender, you remove it. Okay, so that's what I will do right now, like that. During it, while it's soaking, we will have time to prepare the rest.
Okay, great.
You know, so we put that maybe here, like that. So generally, when you're cooking whatever recipe, you go step by step. So you start first by washing what is to be washed. This has been washed already. You wash those kind of veggie because you never know what they put on it and who touched it. So it's better to rinse it properly. Okay. I washed the leek, carrots, and it's peeled, so it's not necessary. So first you wash, then you peel, then you cut.
Now this is an impressive looking knife. Where's this knife?
Okay, but that is Japanese, and it's frankly the best knife I've ever had, and I think it's the best knife, period. That company is making samurai sword.
Really?
That is costing up to $100,000 each.
This is what a samurai warrior would use to cook.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know, but the cutting is really fantastic.
Okay.
And has a very good knife, so I hope there will be nothing wrong.
Okay.
But you cut your fingers much less with a very good knife than with a bad knife. Because with a bad knife, you push.
Yeah, no, with a bad knife, yeah.
With
then
that,
it
it's so
slips
precise
and there goes your thumb.
Generally. So for the carrots, I will start to cut them a bit with Captain Corelli's mandolin, the thickness you want, and then you cut.
This is amazing. I know I'd have left my fingers on your chopping board there trying to get this.
Then same thing with the celery, but you have to be very careful. That is very dangerous.
Right, because it's a very...
Because there is almost no protection, so you have to know where to stop. You know.
Yeah, because, otherwise you'll be just cutting
if not,
yourself
it
to
will
pieces,
be it will be not a vegetarian dish anymore.
No.
Yeah, and there will be a good slice of.
You never want to find a finger in the chowder.
Yeah. So you know we're making something quite thin here.
What's the difference, Denis, between a soup and a chowder?
But a chowder is, I would say that a soup is an hors d'oeuvre and a chowder is a main dish. A chowder is much richer.
Right. So as far, this is something that you would serve as a main course.
Oh yeah, that I would serve it as a main course, and it's I don't know how many calories there in it, but it's a dish. It's not an appetizer. I would say that the difference. And in France, it's the same word. It's a chaudrée.
Now, where does that word chaudrée is? Because chowder sounds like such an American word.
But in fact, I think it's coming from chaudrée, the French name of chaudrée, and chaudrée evokes something chaud, hot, hot by temperature. I mean, you know, something that is that something that is warms you.
Right.
So it evokes a winter dish, let's say.
Okay, so basically you've got a rainbow of thin slices.
The visual is very important.
Yeah.
By the way, that cutting in French cuisine is named julienne. So when you see, for instance, a potage julienne, that means you will have some piece of vegetables cut that way.
That's true. Why is it called julienne?
No idea. Name of like Crécy, which is carrot. Crécy is the most known French defeat. French army defeat in 12th century, 13th century.
So it was
why did that give a name to a soup?
So it was a French military humiliation, but you had a great soup afterwards.
Yeah, exactly. So.
Okay.
Don't ask me why. I don't know. I will keep the juice, the thawing juice to do the sauce. It's not a sauce, to do the chowder by itself. The liquid of the chowder. I will keep it because that's tasty. You remove that, that the stem, that is the muscle that is keeping the shell shut.
Okay.
So it's very strong. It's very good for my cat.
So
I
this
keep
is
it
for the
my
cat.
That's for the cat. He loves it.
So your cat's living large.
Yeah, my cat would be very happy with that.
Now we've still got a few more colours. This is that bright yellow mango colour.
Yeah. So that, in fact, I put it just at the end. It's more for a decor. Just before serving, I put that, more or less on top of the dish.
As a garnish.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we've got the fresh ginger here.
Yeah. Here we are. So that's the ginger, and we're still missing a little thing that is quite important when you are removing the zest. You should be careful there is no white.
Right.
So
because if you have too much white in there, it's going to be too tart.
Yeah, exactly.
But so you've got, just to run through what we've got in here, we've got carrots, we've got celeriac, we've got red peppers, we've got spicy peppers, we've got ginger, we've got mangoes, we've got snow peas.
All that is very northern country. That is Mediterranean, I would say. That is tropical. That is really fusion. That you can name fusion.
So we've got like a tropical Mediterranean northern hemisphere. We've got like a whole kind of fusion of tastes.
Cooked by a French guy. So
yeah.
So now we can go.
Well, we'll check back with Denis and see what he does with those fabulous colours in just a bit. But we're coming up to Valentine's Day, the season of love, and I didn't think we ought to overcomplicate it. So instead, we're going to spend some time with a couple of the great, iconic love songs sung by one of the peerless interpreters of those songs, the great Carol Welsman. This song we owe to a fella called Murray Burnett, who actually rescued it from obscurity. It was written for a Broadway show of 1931 called Everybody's Welcome. And as my old friend Sammy Fain liked to say, everybody's welcome, but nobody came. Sammy left New York, went off to Hollywood and wrote I'll Be Seeing You and Love is a Many Splendid Thing, and a bunch of other stuff. But this is one of the songs in the score that wasn't by him, and instead is by a fella called Herman Hupfeld. And if you're wondering, Herman who? Well, his other big hit was When Yuba Does the Rumba on the Tuba, which I'm not going to ask Carol to sing. One of the guys, as I said, one of the few people in the world who went to see Everybody's Welcome was a fella called Murray Burnett, who was a college boy. And he liked this song so much that 9 years later, when he was writing a play about a Mediterranean bar over on the other side of the world, and he needed a song for the guy at the piano in this bar to sing, he remembered this thing he'd heard a decade earlier. And the play went nowhere, and he sold the idea to Warner Brothers, and you're going to know what comes next. But Carol is going to set it up for us with this verse. And I'm sure you've done this verse in clubs and concerts, and people are kind of slightly spooked by it and wonder, well, what is this thing about? Where's it going? And then you've heard at the piano the great sigh of contentment when you get to the chorus and people know it's one of the great love songs of all time. Carol Welsman.
This day and age we're living in gives cause for apprehension, with speed and new invention and things like fourth dimension. But we get a trifle weary with Mr. Einstein's theory, so we must get down to earth at times, relax, relieve the tension. No matter what the future or what may yet be proved, the simple facts of life are such they cannot be removed. You must remember this. A A kiss is still a kiss. A sigh is just a sigh. The fundamental things apply as time goes by. And when two lovers woo, they still say I love you. On that you can rely. No matter what the future brings as time goes by. Moonlight and love songs, never out of date, and hearts full of passion, jealousy and hate. Woman needs man, and man must have his mate. That no one can deny. It's still the same old story, a fight for love and glory, and a case of do or die. The world will always welcome lovers as time goes by. The world will always welcome lovers as time goes by.
Just marvelous, Carol. The fundamental things do still apply. You know, we all know that song. You played it for her. You can play it for me. If she can stand it, I can. And all the bogey Ingrid Bergman stuff. When a song is that well known, is it kind of hard to find your own perspective on it?
It is. In fact, I have to tell you that when the producer of the Benny Goodman tribute album suggested that song to me, I really was not overwhelmed with joy, except that when he said, I'd love you to sing the verse. I had never heard the verse to it. So it was a real surprise for me, and it was quite refreshing for that reason. And so it made it a lot easier, and I love it now.
So it wasn't the woman needs man and man must have his mate. It was all that stuff about fourth dimension and Mr. Einstein's theory that sold you on the thing.
It really was, because I thought, wow, it was such a new thing to bring to the song after so many years of knowing it just as time goes by.
Yeah, it's it's a fantastic song, and it's one of those ones. It's one of those love songs that is so good. It makes you want to find a great love worthy of a song like that. It demonstrates its own point that the fundamental things do still apply. That's what's so great about it. Well, Carol's going to come back in just a couple of minutes, and we're going to do another one. Very different, another one of those great iconic love songs. But first, let's check back. We've had music, and if music be the food of love, I've built up quite an appetite. Well, we brought all the vegetables over to the stove, and you got the chopping board. So I guess we still got something more to chop.
Yeah, but there are some finishing, like coriander, to spread on the top of the dish.
Okay.
And a little trick, you know, when to avoid that in the kitchen, you put a wet towel under, you know,
Yeah.
lightly wet towel,
Okay.
and it's not moving.
You don't have the slippery chopping board.
Yeah, because that is another.
Yeah, with
for
that
injuries,
knife and a
yeah,
slippery
we
chopping
go-
board, you're asking for lost digits.
We're
Right.
using tomato cans, fruit cans for the tarts. That's it. But I need
So
that.
this is we're now making the liquid for the
yeah,
chowder.
yeah. That you can do in advance. You can do it the day before.
And this is coconut milk.
That is
then.
coconut milk. So I put that here. Now you see the rice vermicelli
Oh, yeah,
are
the
ready,
rice is all-
you know,
yeah.
and they are not cooked because it's cooking so fast that if you cook them before, cooked like in boiling
Yeah.
water, it will be too soft.
Don't cook it, just soak
Yeah.
it in the hot water.
It will be cooked just with the rest
Yeah.
of it very lightly. So I will boil that for 10 seconds. The zest to remove the arch taste, you know,
yeah,
to make it.
Just for 10 seconds.
Yeah. Oh yeah, very lightly. Then I will cook that for 1 minute, you know.
Yeah.
That is frozen, but
Yeah.
for 1 minute I will.
Okay.
So what I'm adding in that, if you have, you could add a bit of fish stock.
Yeah.
So I boil that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
6,
7,
8,
8, 9, 10. That's it.
10 seconds
Finish.
only. That's easy for Anglos because they don't know how to count above 10 in French. So that's good. That's good.
Here we are.
And the trick with all this stuff is not with the rice linguine and to the lime zest is not to do it too much.
Yeah, yeah, very, very.
And that's
lightly.
the hardest thing in cooking when you've got a lot of ingredients. It's the easiest thing in the world just to leave something on the stove too long.
Above all with fish.
Yeah.
A fish that is almost always overcooked.
Right.
First you can eat raw. It's
Yeah.
called carpaccio, and
Yeah.
it's very good.
Yeah.
So we have to go there because I will whip it a bit, you know.
So this is still basically just the coconut milk, a
Yeah.
bit of water, and then the Thai curry powder.
I will add the shallot.
Right.
I will put the ginger.
Okay.
That I will not throw it.
So far in here, we've got the coconut milk, we've got the curry powder, we got the shallots, and
Yeah.
we got the ginger. So this is just a spicy liquid
Yeah.
setting for all these other ingredients. Oh,
And-
and now we're putting in the spicy,
Spice that you can put
the
more or
hot
less.
pepper. And how long, these are the snow peas, how long should the snow peas be in for?
It will be like 1 minute, really,
Okay.
at the end.
Okay.
So here I will put some more of that curcuma just for the color.
Okay.
That's a deep yellow color,
Right.
lightly orangey, like anything. You have to salt a bit. So here I will dry those scallops that are still in their natural water
Yeah.
to be able to really to seize them and give them, I hope, a nice color.
The drying, you've got a paper towel here,
Yeah.
and you're drying the natural brine off the scallop.
Yeah, exactly.
And this is the kind of detail that makes the difference between whether the dish is really spectacular or just blah.
Exactly.
What temperature are you, what setting are you putting the...
No idea. I
No
don't know.
idea.
No, I know it's very hard, but if the olive oil is smoking lightly, that
Right.
means it's more or less
Okay.
180 degrees Celsius.
Oh, I see. So it's already forming the little crust.
Nice color.
Yep.
So you would not have that color if you don't dry it
No,
first
no.
on the paper, you know.
And as you said, the crust keeps more of the moistness on the inside of the scallop.
Yeah.
So it's like it's the same theory as like a marshmallow, basically, isn't it? It's,
I'm not a marshmallow eater, so I cannot tell you. But
oh, pardon me, I didn't mean to offend you, but
no
it's
offense,
the same.
no offense. Yeah. So now, as it will be finished in there, I'm removing them.
So it's really just for a few seconds.
Yeah, it should not be, a ping pong ball that is.
No, you don't want to be able to.
It should stay.
Yeah.
So generally, scallops are very often overcooked.
And now, do you do the same thing with the shrimps? Wow,
Yeah.
look at that.
You want a nice flambé? There we are.
And again, they're forming that nice crust on the outside too.
Yeah, for shrimps it's less, because it's a much tougher flesh.
Yeah.
So it's not like, I could put it right away in there.
Yeah.
It does not really. So for me that is finished. But what's important, in many French cuisine book or even whatever cuisine book, you see déglacé. Déglacé is that.
Yeah.
You go to pick up all the, the nutriments, the taste. That is full of taste.
So this is all the stuff that's just stuck to the bottom of the pan.
And I add that to my
Fantastic.
right away. That would give a
Okay,
good
so
taste.
in goes the zest of lime. So it's important to know what you can do, because we're talking about a Valentine's dinner here, and on a Valentine's Day you're focused on the romance and everything.
Yep.
So you can prepare some of the sauce beforehand. Now, what's the order that you're putting them in?
What's harder to cook, which is carrots and celery, I should say. Then I will put the leek and the sweet pepper.
Now it's looking rather like a Thai curry at the moment.
So then I will put a bit of that. I've put French shallot at the beginning.
Yep.
Okay. That's time to give
And
some
in goes
taste.
the fresh coriander.
Yeah.
Ah, now that's looking good, isn't it? And the sweet peppers.
Yeah. So you see, look at the colors.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah, that's a beautiful mix of colors.
that I can put. Okay.
And now we're putting in the scallops. And so now it's becoming the
real
chowder.
And put that same time. And so it's about 5 ounces. It's about 5 ounces of flesh, I would say.
Yeah.
And it's more or less what's recommended,
And then
So
you're putting in
I want
the
even to
rice
stop it right
linguine.
now, not to have it overcooked, to put a bit of that. He's talking to me.
Well, you're flipping it. I didn't even know you could do that.
Yeah. But when it's liquid, you have to be careful,
Yeah.
I will finish it.
I see what you mean now. This is a main course, isn't it? So this is what you would do for 2 people?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I will do 2 plates. And then you will eat.
And you're putting the mango in now?
Yeah, just at the end, and I keep just a little pieces to decorate at the end.
You just threw the shrimps and the scallops in there for how long?
1 minute, 1.5.
Okay.
No more.
Okay.
So you start to have the rice vermicelle in the bottom. It's quite practical.
And you're laying it out beautifully. You don't just dump it in the bowl. You put the linguine in the center.
Yeah.
You lay out the 3 scallops, and now you're going to put the shrimp. Oh, look at that! So you're standing up the shrimp.
And then we finish with more
And then with
veggie.
all the brightly colored vegetables.
So the chowder is that,
And
the
then
fact
you
that
add-
there is that juice,
Yeah, so it is closer to a bouillabaisse, as they say.
Yeah,
in
it
New
could be.
Orleans.
It could be a bit more juice,
Yeah.
It could be. It's okay. So now, it's finishing time. Then it's really, to your imagination.
And what's this you're putting on here?
I don't have, but you could have some chopped parsley, and that
Okay.
makes
Okay.
nice color. And a bit of that too.
And then you put on a couple of the mango pieces as well.
So that's something
beautiful.
like that.
So you're now just garnishing the bowl.
And here we are,
Okay.
ready to go.
That looks beautiful. You have all the colors of love
Exactly.
in your Valentine's dish.
Exactly.
We've got yellow, red, orange, green.
So enjoy.
And the taste of these great scallop. I'm going to try part of the scallop here. That is a.
Always inside, you know,
Yeah,
that's
look
the
at
way
that.
it should be.
That's
It's
the
still
color,
lightly
Ever so
uncooked
light.
in the center.
Full of moisture.
Yeah.
All the taste. That is a perfectly cooked scallop, that. And I'm going to try a bit of the linguine too. This.
Do you like it?
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And just, I can taste the spice, the combination of the spices.
But not one overwhelming
No,
the
not
other. It's
one
supposed-
overpowering. This is fantastic, Denis.
And it's light, and it's, I love it.
Yeah, and it's chaudre bahamien,
Yeah. Or
Bahamian chowder,
Bahamian, yeah.
or in chaudre Bora Bora.
Bora, yeah.
Bora, according to whether you're Pacifically or Atlantically
yeah,
inclined.
yeah.
But thank you very much, Denis.
It's a pleasure.
This will do the trick for Valentine's Day. The essence of romance is timing is everything, but it is also about the essence of cooking and catching the flavors at their peak. And this is a perfect non-overcooked scallop.
Thank you.
Yeah, I can pretty much taste that from here. That's good stuff. We're back with the great Carol Welsman for another of those terrific, iconic love songs. And people think all the great songs, all the great standards are by Cole Porter and Rodgers and Hart, and sometimes they're not. Sometimes they're by very obscure fellas. This one is by a guy who wrote hillbilly songs. In fact, he's literally a hillbilly songwriter in that his name is Billy Hill. That's Hill, Billy, if you're looking him up in the phone book. And even in the... it's impressive to get a laugh out of Jean-Pierre. So that's Jean-Pierre and John, by the way, have joined Mathieu and Michel and Carol for the full band on this. And he wrote songs. Billy Hill wrote songs in the 1930s that even then sounded 40 years old. They're all like 1890s parlor ballads. He wrote mother songs, and he wrote lugubrious death songs, and he wrote death on the train songs about having a coffin riding in the boxcar. He wrote There's a Little Box of Pine on the 729. And again, we're not going to ask Carol to do that one. And then out of nowhere, in 1936, he wrote a perfect 32-bar pop standard that was unlike anything else in his catalog, and for 80 years it has gone around the world. And it's funny, Cal, that the little things about arrangements, but it's you rephrase the end of the middle eight, as people are about to hear. And to me, that's actually what sold me on your version of the song. It's kind of just little tweaks and things like that freshen up a song. How'd this one catch your eye?
Well, this was obviously from part of the Benny Goodman songbook when we recorded this album, and I was asked to sing it. And I when I arrange music, being a piano player, accompanying myself, I like to take liberty in doing things that we call shout choruses. So in the middle of the song, much like you'd hear in a big band arrangement, where they would suddenly play an instrumental while the vocalist took a break, and they all blow this shout chorus, they call it. I like to play the block chords and pretend I'm a big band, and show off a bit.
Yeah, that's great. You are the Benny Goodman Orchestra. Do you do a one-woman sing, sing, sing while you're here? Because we might hold you to that. That's pretty good. This is a lovely song. As you mentioned, it's from your Benny Goodman album, and I believe Benny Goodman had the first hit on this song. And Billy Hill lived to hear that. He didn't hear a lot of other versions. He died very young on Christmas Eve 1940, and there's 3/4 of a century of this song's life that he never knew about. And to me, it's an oddly it's a very simple song in its form. And they're kind of simple words, but they actually, you put the whole package together with the music, and it turns into magic somehow, and no one quite knows what makes it spark. But we haven't got the Benny Goodman Orchestra here today, but these 4 guys and Carol are gonna do their best. You gotta give a little, take a little. That's the story, that's the glory of love. Carol Welsman.
Hey, you got to give a little, take a little, and let your poor heart break a little. That's the story of that is the glory of love. You've got to laugh a little, cry a little, and let the clouds roll by a little. That's the story of, that's the glory of love. As long as there's the 2 of us, we've got the world and all of its charms. And when the world is through with us, we've got each other's arms. We've got to win a little, lose a little, oh, and even have the blues a little. That's the story of that is the glory of love. got to live a little, take a little, and let your poor heart break a little. That's the story of, that's the glory of love. You've got to laugh a little, cry a little, and let the clouds roll by a little. That's the story of, that is the glory of love. As long as there's the two of us, we've got the world and all of its charms. And when the world is through with us, we've got each other's arms. You've got to win a little, lose a little, and story of that is the glory of love. That's the story of that is the glory of love.
That is good philosophy. You got to give a little, take a little, let your poor heart break a little. That was fantastic stuff, Carol. A couple of great love songs from Carol to get your Valentine's weekend off to a romantic start. If you strike out this weekend, it's nothing to do with us because we set you up perfectly. Thanks to Carol and the band, and we will see you next time.